Sunday night, it's 8 o'clock. Welcome to All Lacrosse Live. I'm Gary Groob in Toronto. With me, as always, I've got Shawn Slaght over at Moose Jaw. Shawn, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, thanks, Gary.
Excellent. And down below, I've got Muffler Mike over in Connecticut. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. Excellent. First of all, it's coming up Wednesday. Happy Canada Day to everybody who is Canadian. And I haven't forgotten about you, Mike. You come up on Saturday. Happy 4th of July. I know we haven't even got out of June yet, but why wait? Canada won today, in that sport you can't use your hands. Yeah. Big rule of mine. It's not a sport if you can't use your hands. Also, no dots on the ball. I don't like that either. No dots on the ball. If you really want to make that exciting, you put a series of randomly placed landmines around the field. And then, Johnson's coming. Well, it makes it a little more interesting, I think. Anyway, then if they want to fall down, they can fall
I was gonna say that just get rid of all the rolling around on the ground, right?
Also outlaw that illegal magic towel. We're not up. They're as good as new with that one. We need that in lacrosse. We can start getting ACL, MCLs just with that magic towel. We'll be safe. Just think about all the time we save in injuries. Anyways, we got a big show for you tonight. We got lots to cover. We got some NLL stuff to cover. We have a lot of course, summer ball going on with junior, with senior B, MSL, WLA, anything else you can think of. There's been a couple of moves as well. So we're going to get right to it in just a second. But just a reminder, of course, as always, that all of our shows are streamed live across Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Also the next day on Spotify. Remember to hit the subscribe, follow, and like buttons. Always share. Please enjoy all of our affiliates across the Streampunk Entertainment Network. If you missed a show, no worries. You can grab all the shows on YouTube, which include Streampunk Sports, Streampunk Cinema, Streampunk Combat, as well as All Lacrosse All the Time, in which you will find retro games, interviews, our library of shows, and so much more. And remember, you can stay up to date with all sports by visiting streampunkent.com with great articles from our huge staff of contributors. Alrighty, let's jump right to it, guys. First and foremost, the league issued this statement from the NLL, and that was that the National Lacrosse League is aware that following its termination of GF Lacrosse's LLC's ownership of the Ottawa Black Bears, the club informed select ticket holders that the Black Bears will no longer be playing at Canadian Tire Centre. The NLL's intention is to keep the franchise in the Ottawa-Gatineau region and continue to grow the Black Bears' loyal and passionate fan base. Well, just another bombshell drop, as we weren't already looking for a place for Philadelphia. Now we got to find an ownership group as well as an arena for Ottawa to play in. Now, the confusing part of this is if the ownership group has nothing to do with it, it should have nothing to do with the arena. Now, if they want to stay in that arena, I'm sure they can. However, probably a fiscally smarter idea is to look at what we were looking at earlier at TD Place, I believe it is, which is about 6,000 seats, works very well for the Firewolves. Work that way out if they're going to keep it in that region. If not, there's Laval to take a look at as well. Ideas floated about that just came by. Rumor mills, of course, would be Philadelphia going over to Edmonton and Ottawa going over to Laval. Solves a few issues, doesn't it? But I'm sure that both organizations would like to stay close to where they are now. But as it stands right now, the ownership group that has had this team through the New York and Long Island era and the Ottawa era is out, and the league is busy looking for new ownership for this team as well. Because the worst thing, as we've talked about before, guys, is to have two dispersal drafts in a year where we have more talent than we've seen in the last number of years combined trying to get into the league. without anywhere for them to go. So let's hope that somebody steps up and our white knights in shining armor and can find homes for these places and teams that these people can have jobs still, including front office, including ticket takers, including concessions people. It affects so many people more than just the 25 players that we're talking about. So let's really hope and pray, if you will, that we can figure something out here over the next couple of months and have it work. All right. Thoughts on this? Mike, first off to you.
Obviously, this is disappointing to hear, just in general, that another ownership group, wasn't able to
Hey, Eduardo.
keep things going. And I mean, I certainly hope they don't move as much as we saw the interest level with the unbox game in Laval.
Right. I kind of wonder, though, it's Ottawa, maybe, but Canada, which is at least a half an hour drive outside of Ottawa, and it's why the Senators have so many problems in the NHL with attendance, too, is there's no walk-up crowd. It's not like you're going downtown and having dinner thinking, hey, let's go catch the lacrosse game. It's inexpensive. We're going to have fun with that. There is no walk-up crowd. You've either planned to go there or you haven't. So it's difficult if you're trying to sell something that isn't readily the big four. And there it is. So maybe if they can get into downtown Ottawa. And there's also another, just to keep it interesting, is if they can do it and go there for a few years and survive it. They are building another arena in Ottawa for the Senators that'll be ready 2030, 2031. Now, there hasn't been a shovel in the ground yet, but that is the plan for the Senators. So if they can do it, and if there's a big enough interest at that point, then they can make the move with the Senators. But first off, we have to keep them alive now. But then again, we haven't heard anything about Philadelphia either. They've been kind of, silent. Hopefully, the whole adage is nobody can do anything in public. So hopefully there's a lot of wheels turning in the background, and we can figure all that out. Am I still here, guys?
It froze up.
It froze up over here, yeah.
Hopefully I look good when I freeze up because my picture is black over here.
No comment.
I'll have to see it in the replay. Anyways, while I'm
This is the best you look. This is the best you look, Gary. Just stay like this, bro.
You're water dogs, man, Mr. McConvey. I would scratch him off your list.
Yeah.
He just got 7 points for the Brampton Excelsiors tonight.
Every time this, every time that there's a Water Dogs win, I'm like Bugs Bunny. I show a piece of carrot or fruit and just go, "What's up, Doc?"
Well, we got to start working or learning to just pick against whatever Pat picks when the Water Dogs are involved, and chances are we'll be right. So,
well, Mike, why don't we start off with some PLL while I get myself unfrozen?
Well, I'll pass it off to. I could pass it off to Pat if he wants to go over the Whip Snakes and the Outlaws.
Oh, I was getting ready to do some Water Dogs, but sure.
Yeah, I mean, take it away, whichever one you want to do.
Yeah,
I'm actually checking up on Redwoods and Chaos right now, which is in progress for anyone interested. The Redwoods are up 13-11 with about a little over 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So we'll try to get everyone real-time updates on on that game as it approaches the end here. So,
but yeah, look, what a win for the Philadelphia Water Dogs, right? because you had a team that they battled today through injuries. Like you and I talked this morning, Mike, about Connor Kelly being out of the game, out of the picture. You looked at today's game where it kind of looked like the Archers were playing with a little bit of desperation, is to play a little too much physicality where it came back to burn them as far as committing to dumb penalties as far as top. They did, like the one that Zach Curry was pretty stupid. The shoulder hit, the shoulder to helmet hit, it was dumb. They got a double minor for that. Then there was the one that was a cross. It was supposed to be a cross check. It went underneath the mask of CJ Kurz. That was stupid. I mean, these guys were just making some dumb penalties, and they're luckily, if the Water Dogs were a better power play unit, they would have. They had more of a scoring option on their CJ Kurz. They would have been in some big time trouble, because they only, like I said, only shot themselves in the foot. I get it; they're in desperation mode. They're 2-3 now, 2-4, and this is not a when you think of Connor Fields, you don't think of him on a losing team. Yeah, you expect better from him. You know what I mean? He's an MVP caliber player. He's a championship caliber player. Box game, field game doesn't matter. That is a world class athlete right there. And for him to be on a losing team, I know it's not sitting well with him. And he's known to thump Philadelphia Lacrosse, box or field. And yeah, this wasn't a good win for. This was a ugly loss, and I gotta give Bill Tierney, I gotta give that Philadelphia Water Dogs team credit. They didn't play. They didn't need to go, 15 goals in this one. They just played a solid defensive game, a solid. They took their time scoring. They just took what the Archers were giving them, and capitalized on it. It was very smart power play from them.
Yeah, and obviously, a big debut for midfielder Matt Collison, a goal and a 2-point goal, in the 11-10 win. So they certainly needed every point possible.
The only, if I'm going to nitpick the Water Dogs in this one, as far as negativity, because I'm always Mr. Positive, if I'm always going to nitpick it's. I get it. CJ Kurz is your primary goal scorer. He had 5 goals in this one. But McCardle, even Sowers last year, were your 1-2 punch. This year it kind of falls all on the shoulders of CJ Kurz. And where are these other guys scoring goals? You got Josh Hugo, who's a rookie, who's like your secondary scorer. He gets a goal here and there. He kind of reminds me of your grit kind of a guy, like a Phil Caputa, like maybe with a little bit more talent. But it's where is this Philadelphia Water Dogs offense outside of CJ Kurz? I mean, you have to have other options out there, because it's at some point when you play against the contenders like the Denvers of the world and all that, all they're going to do is field work to shut down CJ Kurz. And then what does Philadelphia have to answer with?
Yeah, I guess I'll agree to some extent that certainly you'd like to see the scoring be a little more balanced. But if Kurz has the hot hand,
you got to rock with the hot hand.
Yeah.
And I like the playmaking abilities that these guys are coming with. Like you said, again, CJ Kurz, you cannot defend this guy. Gary, you and I believe it or not, we have the same passion with this guy. You cannot defend him in a half-court set. I mean, he can bully his way down. He is like a PlayStation controller. R2, triangle, square. He's hitting all sorts of moves on you. He's creating his own shot. He could get in spacing. He could do whatever he wants to his defender. I mean, it's best that if you are a coach, you need to you have to double defend him at all times, because if not, he's going to cook the one-on-one defenders all the time. And that's what I saw out of this game. It was just do whatever he wanted and taking full liberties on him.
Absolutely.
And,
CJ Kurz, CJ.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel it. And listen, he cursed the Archers. He cursed Connor Fields. Now, if you could just do that with a couple other big names of the PLL, we could be in the driving seat. And one other thing too that what kind of wears me out, wears me about this Water Dogs team moving down the road. Last year Matt Duchesne DeLuca was challenged with Dylan Ward in there for a goalie position. What happens if he has a bad day or he's kind of showing inconsistencies or what? Like, I want somebody to be able to challenge him for that, goalie position. Always keep him on his toes. And he's a lockdown defender, but I still want to, because I felt like Philadelphia had a 1-2 punch in the net last year. Now you're just kind of running with one goalie, so to speak, in between the pipes.
I agree. I had them.
Yes.
Actually, if we can get a chaos miracle comeback, I can go another perfect week.
Yeah, really.
Being in the basement, man, that would be 7-0 in 2 weeks. Mike, regardless, you and I have the same pick in this game. We'll be sharing first after today.
Yep.
I know it ain't me. I always go against the Water Dogs. I know that. I'm the complete mush.
Yeah, it is 13-11 Redwoods right now with a little over a minute left.
Well, it couldn't last forever.
That makes Shawn happy because he's avoiding going 0-4 on the week.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay alive here. I'm taking up the basement now.
Don't worry, buddy. I'll be heading that way too. Don't even feel bad.
We've all had
Slide over there, Shawn. Wait, I'm opening up the cellar door now as we speak.
We've all had a gander at Mike's renovations down there, so you know what?
Yeah.
He has a lovely place.
I got news for Pat and Shawn. Owen Sound never moved in, and Burnaby's moving out apparently. So the place is going to be all your guys.
As soon as they were offered that option,
how about that?
We gave it Tucker.
And how about that though? Like, you going back to talking a little bit more about this game. Like I mentioned, like the Utah Archers. I mean, how many times did you visit the sin bin? How many times did you visit it? I mean,
it was 8
your coach
total in the
eight
game,
penalty minutes,
which is that's.
I'm sorry,
that's
but if I'm the coach of that squad, I'm getting your keister a little bit. Like, what's going on here? You're taking dumb penalties. I mean, you can't be playing like that.
And PLL at 30-second penalties, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen. It only takes 30 seconds for 5 goals to go by. So I'd be kicking somebody right in the can. Like, what's going on? But for the Water Dogs, though, listen, I know they won by a point, a goal. They win 11-10, but this is a good feeling going into the All-Star break. Now you just you come on the other side, and then you just the future's bright for this team.
Sorry, Pat.
Even without
But when you lose that from your lineup as well, that hurts. He did this last year too, though. Near the end of the year,
True.
He left to play box, get himself all ready for NLL. But kind of odd at this time of the year. At that time, also Brandon picked up Finn Thompson. He hasn't come back yet, but don't sleep on Brampton if they get Finn Thompson back and they're rolling now. Mike Triola comes back from injury. You have Thomas McConvey. All of a sudden, they become a viable team. So,
absolutely.
But to stick back with PLL, loving what the Water Dogs did. Absolutely.
Yeah, so listen, you're number 2 in your conference right now. You're 3-2. You're sitting right on the heel steps. Maryland, look over your shoulders because here come the Water Dogs. They're barking.
You gotta love that because they were doing a whole lot of not much not long ago.
Yeah, no, they weren't.
Mike,
and listen,
13-12, right?
What's that? Yeah, 13-12, 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Oh.
The 2-point goal is coming. Don't look now. It's been that kind of a day. Remember, Canada won. Right? And that's that you can't use your arms. Pat, you know what I'm talking about.
No, yeah, trust me. Listen, I never use my hands. I always use my mouth.
All right. You know, there isn't a comeback for that. It really isn't.
Except let's move to those Friday games.
All righty.
While we're talking about Redwoods, I guess let's go over to Shawn for the Saturday.
Not a great start for the Redwoods in their homecoming. Lose 15-12 to the Cannons, and really it was kind of a bit of a slow start for California.
Sorry, Sean. It's tied. 9 seconds left.
It's tied. Oh, jeez. Anyways, slow start for California to start the Saturday night game. Go down right off the bat, 2-0. Get completely shut out in the first quarter. Boston gets goals from Mikey Weiss Shire and Brian Kelly just to go up 2-0. Trail 4-2 at the half. Wild start to the third quarter where 4 goals were scored in 43 seconds. A couple by, 3 by the Cannons and 1 by the Redwoods. But still, the Cannons held a 12-7 lead, and they went 5-5 in the fourth quarter. I guess one of the stats that kind of stuck out to me was 18 turnovers by the Redwoods to 12 turnovers by the Cannons. Just a little bit of sloppy handling of the ball there. Goaltending, Colin Kirst, 15 saves, 55.6% save percentage. Dylan Ward for California, 18 saves, 54.5% as well. So, pretty even across the board there. Same with face-offs. TD Erlin did kind of get the better of it with 18 out of 30 for that. For the Cannons, it was Coulter Mackesy came with 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points to lead the way. Brian Kelly, hat trick and 2 assists. Marcus Holman also had a hat trick as well. For the Redwoods, you had Andrew McAdory, hat trick. 2 goals from Chris Kavanaugh. Ryder Guernsey with 2 goals. Also 2 goals from Sam English in this one. But, not a great start. Gives the Cans their second win of the season. Kind of puts them right back in the hunt of things.
Nice. I had that one. Mike, I can say this. It's been weeks. I had that one. I had that one. I'm hoping to have this other win.
Yeah, and as we speak, it's headed into overtime, so tied 13-13.
Oh,
so
boy.
As soon as we see something, we'll update everyone. But Pat, if you want to take us to Saturday afternoon, the Whip Snakes and the Outlaws.
Saturday afternoon. Of course. Why not? Let's talk about the Whip Snakes losing to the Outlaws, helping out your Philadelphia Water Dogs. Thanks to my man Pat Kavanaugh, who had a big monster day. Monster day for your man Pat Kavanaugh with 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. Just having a monster day. Pat, former Philadelphia Wings right there. Brandon O'Neill with a pair of goals and an assist. this team looks pretty sharp right now. Dalton Young, another former Philadelphia Wing, had a big night there. 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. This team's rocking and rolling right now. Again, this is such a weird league, guys. I'm pretty sure you know this, where you can't predict anything to go one way or another. Where you feel like the Whipsnakes are going to be in the driver's seat of this league, and then they get hit by this railroad, by this Mack truck, and into the Outlaws. And this Outlaws team is just looking like they want to, run it back and capitalize on winning a championship. And when we know what we have in this high-powered offense from the Outlaws, you can see it right there. You have Kavanaugh, you have Brandon O'Neill, Dalton Young as a midfielder can contribute a couple of goals for you. I mean, this is a nice thing for you, and this was no easy task. I thought I would get a better game from the Maryland Whipsnakes, and only supplying only 7 goals, not good enough. Not good enough at all. So actually, in old technicality, this was 2 wins for your Wood Dogs. Not to jump gears here, because you get the win, and then they lose, and now you're breathing down their backs. And again, I'm looking at some of the highlight reels from Pat kind of as we speak. And again, just the way he's able to go through some defenders, cook the one-on-ones, and find himself down low, getting himself a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess, the question now is what's wrong with Whipsnakes?
Mm-hmm.
After they looked like they were, in control, and, the last 2 weeks, they've not looked good. I mean, you get a hat trick from Joey Spallina, but the rest of the scoring is kind of 2 goals from Colin Heacock, Aiden Carroll and Adam Patois, a goal each, and that seems to have been like the same line for the last 3 games for those 2 guys, is 1 goal and nothing else. So I'm not sure what's going on. Are they not getting involved in the offense enough because of the presence of Spallina? Is there some sort of urgency on the Whipsnakes offense to try to get Rob Pennell the ball because he's so close to this points record now?
Well, I mean,
could that be kind of muddling the way they're operating?
But even with that, look at Rob Pennell's number line here. He had 1 assist. He really didn't do a whole lot.
Well, and look at
no points out of TJ.
But everybody's gearing on him too, right? Because everybody expects him to be getting the ball and trying to break this record. So he's got a double impediment there.
And it's weird because they got talent, Maryland. They got the talent. It's just, I don't know what it is that something's just not paying off. And again, I don't know. Maybe they're just the defensive front, because I'm looking at a couple of plays here. Where's the communication at? You have about 4 guys down low, and they're all sitting there picking each other's nose and eating boogers over here. I mean, like, what's going on? I mean, you got the Outlaws down here making plays right in front of your doorstep. I mean, that should be allowed. You should be, hey, listen, communication. Start yelling and screaming at each other. Maybe that's got to be speaking through the goaltender. Hey, listen, communicate. Hey, listen, look out for this. Scheme up some different defensive plans here. Go into a zone. Come on, some man-to-man, something's got pan out, because you see that once you fall behind on the scoreboard, then you get in desperation times, then you look lost, and that's what happened.
This is one thing I was kind of wondering about myself. I was looking at Emmett Carroll's stats and goal, and maybe it's just the looks that he got, but 47.8% save percentage, not great.
Yeah, and I know I saw a goal later in the game where he was clearly frustrated with the defense around him. He's pulling the ball out of the net, and he's turning it back, and he's just barking at his guys. And I will note too, we had talked at the start of the season about the fourth quarter woes and how that trend seemed to continue. We didn't have anything in week 5. As far as fourth quarter woes, we had 1 instance this week of fourth quarter woes, and that 1 instance was the Whip Snakes in their game, scoring just 1 goal in the fourth quarter. So, and speaking of goals, I know Gary's California wins 14-13 in OT. So,
Was a nice goal.
So Shawn avoids the
Guys.
Toying with me, they are.
California. Yeah, so California does escape with a split here on their homecoming weekend.
And that's another thing too. When you're playing against the Outlaws, you're playing against the Western, champions. That's a measuring stick for you. How do you only dial up 7 goals in this game is beyond me. When you're supposed to be saying in your minds, hey, listen, we got to play a little harder. We got to play a little better than this. We're playing against a former champion here. Like, these guys want to come in and knock our heads off, and we got to be able to show. We got to be able to go toe to toe with them, and they couldn't. And this is, it just shows you this, this Maryland team. 1 minute they could ride high, next minute it's very low.
Yeah. So I mean, if anything, maybe the All-Star break is coming at a good time for them. They can figure a way to level out. Certainly you might be able to blame some of that on Logan McNaney for the Outlaws. I mean, he had 15 saves in the game. So, and 68.2 save percentage on the night.
Yeah, I hear that. It's just frustrating if you're a Maryland Whipsnakes fan. Again, you have in the All-Star break coming to your backyard. I mean, granted, you get to see all the towns from all around the league and all that stuff. But this is a time this could have helped a couple of your players if you would have walked out if the score was reversed. You probably would have got a little bit more enthusiasm seeing a couple of your own guys go into the All-Star break, knowing the All-Star game's in your backyard. But when you get slapped in the face like this, and you just gotta hope that you come out on the other side of this All-Star break a little bit more hungry, a little bit more.
Absolutely.
I mean, right now, Denver won the face-off battles. It's just crazy. And and they spent a little bit more time in the sin bin. They only spent one. They only had one penalty, but still, you got to take advantage. And here it is. I'm just taking a look at some of the highlights. I mean, I just don't know where all this went wrong. Like you said, it sounded like it's the fourth quarter. Whoa, what's going on?
Absolutely. All righty. That covers us, right? Except for today's game that just happened.
Yeah, which just happened. I don't know if Shawn wants to grab any stats. I mean, I can do the WLL game real quick. And this one was a doozy, certainly, with all the other unexpected results and outcomes this week. I don't think anyone saw the California Palms absolutely routing the New York Charging 16-9, outscored them 10-4 in the second half after leading 6-5 at halftime. So this does a couple of things, this win. Obviously, there's no more undefeated teams in the WLL. The Palms move up to 2-1. They drop the Charging to 2-1. The Palms actually are now in first place based on the head-to-head, as this was their only meeting of the season, and the goal differential. The Palms now have a +8, while the Charging are sitting at 0 on the goal differential. For the Palms, a couple of big games. Emma Lapinto, 2 goals, 3 assists. She still leads the WLL in scoring with 16 points through 3 games. She's also tied for the league lead in assists with 7. You had 4 goals each from Sam Geiersbach and Ellie Mazara. Hat trick for Anna Brandt. Marie McCool had a pair of goals and 7 ground balls. And Taylor Moreno, huge night in net, 17 saves. For the charging, I guess you can insert them in the whip snake spot. What's wrong with them? Izzy Skane, 2 goals and an assist. She was the only charging player with more than 1 goal. Not what you would expect from some of the players they have on that offense. A goal each from Aaron Kuykendall, Emily Harris-Chuck, Corey Edmondson, and Darcy Felter, the 2 rookies who combined for 5 goals the week before when they beat the Charm 12-10. Goal from Meg Carney. Sam Smith, probably the only bright spot for the Charging, 19 of 21 on draw controls and a goal. Madison Doucette got replaced late in the game after making 12 saves but allowing 10 goals. And her replacement, Delaney Schweitzer, didn't do much better, making only 3 saves and allowing another 6 goals. So what this does really is also opens the door for the Maryland Charm and the Boston Guard to get back into potentially a spot where they can get into the the WLL championship game. The next WLL game is going to be the week after the All-Star break, and it's going to be the Charging playing the Charm for a second time. So that's going to be a huge one because that's the last game of the regular season for the Charging. So if they can get a win, they'll probably punch a ticket to the championship game. But if the Charm manage to win, it's going to make things interesting.
Right. Interesting. Well, Shawn, any idea what happened in that game that I don't really want to think about?
I don't know. I was going through the stats now, and yeah, like it's. If I'm Redwoods, I'm concerned about how they kind of let Carolina back in this. I mean, they were leading 11-7 heading into that fourth, and gave up 5 goals. They let Carolina right back into it. Just some stats, just go real quickly through them. Ryder Garnsey had a hat trick and an assist. I also had a hat trick from Sam English. Chris Kavanagh had a pair of goals. Dylan Malloy, who had the game winner, also had a pair of goals. In goal, Ward, 15 saves, 55.6% save percentage. For the Chaos, you had Ross Scott with a hat trick and an assist for 4 points. Brendan Nick Turn, 2 goals and an assist. Chad Palumbo, 2 goals and an assist. And you had Eric Spanos with 2 goals as well. And in goal, Blaze Reardon, 15 saves as well for 51.7% save percentage.
In Blaze, we trust. Oh, well. Can't win them all, as they say. I'm just hoping I don't start a new trend again.
No, but like I said, I mean, it seemed like, California had this one in the bag and just allowed the Chaos right back into it in the fourth.
That they did. All right. So next week we have an all-star game. Sunday afternoon, 2:00 Eastern. And, of course, I'm always looking forward to the skills competitions and all that. To watch a game of flag football or, an NBA kind of all-star game where there's 700 points doesn't really thrill me any, but, skills competition always catches my attention. Men and women.
It gives us all a week away from Pick'ems because, they look terrible. My final numbers for this week: Gary 3-1. The rest of us all went 1-3. And for the season, we're making Pat's prophecy come true here about unpredictability. Gary and I are now tied for the lead at 11-12, under 500.
Well, being that I was in the basement 2 weeks ago, that's a pretty good comeback at 6-7-1 last 2 weeks. How I don't know. I was doing the same thing I did before.
And trailing behind in the basement are Shawn and Pat, both at 7 and 16.
Told you, buddy.
The view's nice down here, man. The view's is nice down here, man.
Deep fried cheesesteaks and poutine, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like the movie
Served
Goodfellas.
nightly.
I feel like the movie Goodfellas where they're making prison food. Like they got like a grill going on in the deli. That's for me and Shawn are hanging out right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my. You know, the Pat Bernard sandwich bar.
That's not a bad idea.
Hey,
Gobbler.
the bell,
Yeah. You haven't had anything till you had it from the gobbler.
You should have got that going on. We got some cupcakes. You know, the gobbler's got it all over here.
Man, I can't wait to hear cholesterol totals for you. Trying to find them with a needle. They're all
Yeah, it's I feel bad. I think my stomach will eat the needle at that point.
Oh my. Well, Pat, as always, thank you.
Listen,
What a great time. Great show this morning as well. And Mike did an awesome job as well. And again, thank you so much for putting your stuff in. Remember, CJ Curse, man, I love it all the time.
all right, listen, CJ Curse, the lead dog of this team. I'm on board with the CJ Curse guy. Hey, listen, I think we need to start face painting right now, Gary, as we come on to do the next show. Wintertime, you can face paint in Toronto colors. I'll do Water Dog Fees it. CJ. Oh, it'll be bananas right now. My man Burla Monson used to say.
We will be the latest trend.
Yes, yes, we will. We're going to take it away from the Knicks. We're going to move on from the Knicks. We're going to take it here.
We'll be doing the CJ Kursthausen.
We can do a little bit of that.
You'll be doing the water dog housing, and I'll be doing the rock housing, and we'll figure it out. Somehow I got a WWE on line 3 about infringement. Sorry.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, have a good one. I'll catch you guys later, and I'll see you guys. 2 weeks, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, I keep on. I've been doing shows on the beach all week, and my man Jay Luce from Buffalo has kept on asking me, all right, what's going on? Is there have we found a home yet? I'm like, no, not yet. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when Philly gets a call where I'll be. He's thirsty, and I'm like, what do you have to worry about? You're a Buffalo Bandits fan. But he's from Buffalo. He always chimes into the show asking me what's going on with Uncle Paul Day. I'm like, listen, I'll be the first one to tell you what's going on, Uncle Paulie.
Like I said, a move to Edmonton would not be something that Paul Day would be the GM again in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be something wild. That would be great. I don't know if I can.
I don't know whether Edmonton fans would be too thrilled, but
not great for
those are some lean years.
That'd be some long distance fandom right there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, you'd have to fly in for the press conference, Pat.
Just for Uncle Paulie, I would do with it. You know what I mean? Just for Uncle Paulie. So
Edmonton weather and Philadelphia winters are pretty much the same.
Pretty much, I mean, it's all right. Once you've been frostbite, you're all right. You'll be all right. You got a couple beers and you'll be all right.
Loving it. All righty, Pat. Have yourself a great one. Happy 4th of July to you.
Thank you, sir. And you guys enjoy the rest of your week and go Water Dogs.
Absolutely. I was Pat Bernard, y'all, with the Water Dog Report. Nice. Shawn, why don't you take us out west for a little bit of junior and senior and everything in between?
Yeah, you bet. I guess we can start off on Wednesday in the BC Junior A League, and man, we got off to a really good start. The Delta Islanders and the Burnaby Lakers. Burnaby scores with Liam Connors scoring on the power play with 5 seconds left in the third period to tie the game 13-13. And then Daniel Bastiston scores a minute and 2 seconds in overtime to give the Burnaby Lakers a 14-13 win over the Delta Islanders to start off the week with an overtime game. Then on Thursday, we saw the Victoria Shamrocks with a 15-6 win over the Nanaimo Timbermen. And then their second game, another close one. The Coquitlam Madnax take a 2-goal lead kind of midway through the third. Mason Eastgate scores with an extra attacker on the floor with 26 seconds left to make it 9-8, but that's as close as the Langley Thunder would come, as Adnax did pick up the 9-8 win in that one. Then on Friday, Port Coquitlam Saints came away with a 12-6 win over Coquitlam. So a bit of an upset there as Coquitlam continues to look at the lead for the standings. And then just yesterday, we had New Westminster and Nanaimo in another close game. And actually, it was Nanaimo scoring 3 straight goals late in the third period, and they came away with a 10-9 win over the Salmon Bellies. And then just this afternoon, we had Victoria. They picked up an 18-3 win over the Burnaby Lakers, and the Adnax came away with a 10-4 win over the Timbermen. So looking at the standings now, the Coquitlam Adnax continue to hold on to the lead in the standings at 10-2-1. Victoria Shamrocks are 9-5. Langley Thunder at 8-4-1. The Port Coquitlam is holding on to that fourth spot at 8-5. Burnaby Lakers at 6-8. New Westminster Salmon Bellies at 4-7-1. The Delta Islanders at 4-8-1, and the Nanaimo Timbermen at 2-12. Over to the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League Junior A in Alberta. Let's see here. On Friday, we actually had a 3-game set between the Winnipeg Blizzards and the Calgary Mounties. Game 1 was Friday, with the Mounties taking a 7-8 win over the Blizzards. Then yesterday, the Blizzards came back for a 6-4 win. And then just this afternoon, actually, the Mounties and the Blizzards played to a 7-7 tie. So a win, a loss, and a tie for both teams in that weekend set. So looking at the standings here, you got the Raiders, the Okotoks Raiders at 12-0 as they head towards near the end of the season here. You have the Edmonton Myers at 7-6, the Mounties at 6-6, the Winnipeg Blizzards at 3-7, and the Saskatchewan SWAT at 2-11. In Prairie Gold Lacrosse and Junior B, they just wrapped up their regular season. So just kind of a quick look at their standings, and I'll let you know about the playoffs. So at the end of the regular season, the Prince Albert Predators are 10-2. Winnipeg Blizzards are 7-5, along with the Swift Current Wolverines at 7-5. Moose Jaw Mustangs at 6-6, and the Weyburn Razorbacks at 0-12. So your playoffs look this way. In the semifinals, you've got the Prince Albert Predators against Moose Jaw Mustangs, and the Winnipeg Blizzards against these. That goes on Thursday. And then Friday will be the Winnipeg Blizzards against the Swift Current Wolverines. And this is where we get interesting, guys. Senior B. So when we left off on Saturday, the Winnipeg Blizzards defeated the Standing Buffalo Fighting Sioux, and they played again that Sunday night. And the Winnipeg Blizzards take 2 of 2 against Standing Buffalo. They defeat them again 15-9. And just with looking at the score sheet here, guys, I mean, leading the way for the Blizzards, Jarrett Smith, the Saskatchewan Rush, 4 goals, 3 assists for 7 points, playing for his hometown Blizzards. While Fighting Sioux, Jeff Schattler, 5 goals, 1 assist. But here's the interesting thing. The league leading scorer, Austin Shanks, 1 goal, 1 assist. They completely shut down Austin Shanks in that game. So with that, your final standings at the end of the regular season, Saskatoon Brewers are 9-1. The Winnipeg Blizzard and the Standing Buffalo, Fighting Sioux are both at 8-2 for second and third. Regina Heat at 4-6. The Saskatoon SWAT at 3-7. The Prince Albert Outlaws at 2-8, and the Moose Jaw Mafia at 1-9. So your playoffs are looking like this. You have the Winnipeg Blizzards and Standing Buffalo going at it again in the semifinals.
Oh boy.
Wow.
On Friday night in Fort Capel Arena. So Standing Buffalo is the home team, and the winner will take on the Saskatoon Brewers for the championship on Saturday.
Wow. We're just heading into July. We're already ending summer ball.
Yeah.
I realize that too because Ontario Series, we only have 2 more weeks left. There's 4 more weeks left in MSL, but 2 more. And the crazy thing with Ontario Series is the way the schedule is. I think Brooklyn has 4 games in these 2 weeks coming up. They're undefeated right now, but putting 4 big games. Let's see.
That's rough, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Over to junior in Ontario. And as we know, Kitchener has given up 811 first-round picks. Makes it to the year 2144 before they get a first-round pick again. But, it's all good. It's all good. We start off on Monday with Whitby and Peterborough in an East Division matchup, with Whitby beating Peterborough 8-3. Whitby then again turns around the next day and gets into with St. Catharines, who has just been the class of the league so far. And St. Catharines came away with an 8-4 win over Whitby. The one that I had circled on the week was the Toronto Beaches went into Kitchener on Wednesday. And with all the moves that Kitchener has made recently, Kitchener came away with an 11-7 victory over the Beaches in a really big defensive struggle. That same day, Saskatchewan and Burlington went at it, St. Catharines and Burlington went at it. St. Catharines came away with a 5-2 victory. You would think that that's after one. Well, that's your final. Defensive struggle or what? Oakville and Six Nations got together, and Six Nations took that one 11-9. And Mimico and Brampton went head-to-head. And you think about all the years of rivalry. Well, I guess Mimico is in the rebuild. Brampton took it to them 16-7. Moving on to Friday, the Beaches had a rough night against Whitby, losing 13-9. Orangeville and Peterborough went at it on Saturday, and it was a really tight game. It was Orangeville coming away with an 8-5 victory. We go over to Brampton, and they hosted Kitchener. And this was a 7-6 overtime victory for Kitchener. So they're starting to look like the team they're supposed to look like. But at what cost? At what cost? Now we move further, and Burlington and Elora were at it. Burlington beat them 13-8. And one game finished today, which was Kitchener and Burlington. Burlington loses to Kitchener 16-15 in OT. Kitchener puts up 3 wins, but 2 in OT this week. Kind of a busy week, eh?
Yeah.
On the go right now, we have Elora in Orangeville, and it is 10-6 Orangeville right now. Peterborough is in Mimico, and it is 10-7 right now at Fort Peterborough. And Brampton and Oakville are just getting going because it's 0-0 right now. And that covers all the ins and outs of junior right now. But looking at the standings, you have in the East Division Whitby at 8-6, Brampton at 8-4, Orangeville at 7-4, the Beaches at 5-8, Mimico 4-11, and Peterborough at 3-9. Moving over to the West Division, you have St. Catharines at 13-2. Six Nations at 10-4. Kitchener making a move up the standings. They are now at 10-5. Oakville is sitting in fourth in the division at 7-4. Burlington at 5-10, and Elora at 2-9. So we're doing a bit of bizarro world with teams that should not be playing as close as they are, really stepping up and being spoilers, if you will. But yeah, you want to catch these games because they're awesome. And if you go onto the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League website, if you are looking to watch these games and can't make it to them, there is a tab for watch, and it will take you to their YouTube channel, which will put on live games as well as retro. So you can catch up on any games that you've missed or anything that is going on live as we speak. So give that a look, because you will not be disappointed at the future of lacrosse. All right, let's move on over into Ontario Series. And we had a strange week, to say the least. Let's start off first on Friday. Six Nations and Hamilton get together over in Hamilton. And, well, Six Nations jumped out to a 4-0 lead. You're thinking they're going to run away with this game. Well, by the end of the first period, it is 5-5. Absolutely unreal period of back and forth play. Jackson Webster, of course, who we all know of as Owen Sound fame in major series, but for Six Nations is doing exactly the same, and teamed up with Thunderhill is just a deadly combination. However, Ty Argent, Jaden Patterson are looking at carrying Hamilton along as well. The big thing was Hamilton in the second took a 6-5 lead. Jaden Patterson scored a couple of minutes in. Then Six Nations basically took over the period, scoring 7 times out of the 9 goals after that. David Anderson, Jackson Webster, Thunderhill, Tyler Brown, all with markers in there. Marshall Palace even added one in there just to keep everybody honest. We move into the third, and again, Six Nations comes up with a 7 spot. And again, led by Mitch Van Every, Jackson Webster, David Anderson, David Peterkin, all with multiple point games. So 19-13 was your final in an absolutely, totally entertaining game. I enjoyed it from start to finish. Moving forward into Saturday, we had ourselves a pitcher's duel. We had Belleville heading into Collingwood. And although Collingwood was up 2-1 after 1, it was tied 4-4 after 2. And what better way to have a little dramatic irony is with Blake Miracle scoring in the third, the only goal in the third. And Belleville comes away with a 5-4 victory over the Collingwood Crews, moving them out of the basement. Six Nations in Brooklyn get together later in that Saturday, and it was actually Lacrosse Day in Whitby, or McMichael Day, and you had the Merchants playing the early game. You had the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club playing the late game, both against Six Nations teams. This was a really entertaining game between Six Nations and Brooklyn in Ontario Series, with it being 3-3 after 1, but a huge second period for the Brooklyn Merchants in which they scored 6 while only yielding 1. And that was the ball game as they won 12-8. Of note, Robbie Baxter having another big game. Carter Page having a big game for the Merchants as well. And Ryan Langill has just been so steady the last number of weeks that he is, again, leading the charge. David Anderson, of course, having a big game for Six Nations. Greg Elijah Brown also leading the charge for them. But interestingly enough, they meet up again next week in one of the 2 games that Brooklyn has to play. So this one's going to be at the ILA. So this one's going to be a little bit more of a grudge match that will be hit it on. We move to Owen Sound and Ennismore. And Ennismore has had a resurgence of late. But so has Owen Sound. Owen Sound's had a really good year. Owen Sound jumped out to a 2-0 lead. However, not long after that, Liam Volans and Nick DeLauro both scored to tie it up. Mason Kreller and Brock McElmoyle scored for Owen Sound. It was 4-2 after 1 period for Owen Sound. Owen Sound had their big period in the second period as well. After Nick DeLauro scored for Ennismore, Owen Sound rhymed off 5 goals in a row. Riley Thompson with 4 of them consecutively. 3 of them on the power play. That was your game difference in this game, because your third period was split evenly at 3-3. So your final score again, Owen Sound 12, Ennismore 7. And looking at the standings, you have Brooklyn on top. Followed by Six Nations. Both with 8 wins, except Six Nations has a pair of losses to go with it. The end of the season is 12 games. So Brooklyn will be making up 4 of them in the next 2 weeks. Owen Sound is sitting at third with 6-4. The Bengals are at 3-5. The Kodiaks are at 3-7 in 5th place, guys. 5th place. Collingwood at 2-6. And Ennismore at 2-8 as your bottom 2. So as it stands now, I believe Belleville is in the playoffs. I'll have to go through that. We have a call coming up next week for all the ins and outs of the playoff format. But as it stands, interesting, eh? Upcoming games this week in Ontario Series. There's 5 games on the docket. Collingwood's into Owen Sound on Friday. Saturday, we have a pair of games with Collingwood heading into Hamilton. Brooklyn into Six Nations, and that is one you may want to circle on your calendar. You might not want to miss that one. I will be there. Hamilton and Owen Sound go at it on Sunday, as well as Ennismore heading over to Brooklyn for a 6 p.m. Sunday game. Another big-time game for the standings. All right. Actually, we look at top 10s. How about that? Thunderhill sitting on top of everything there. 49 points so far for the Rivermen. Liam Volans at 33 points. Having a great year for Ennismore. Then a pair of merchants with Robbie Baxter and Parker Pfeiffer. Mitch Van Every from the Rivermen, 27 points. Jaden Patterson, Hamilton, 26. Tyler Brown from the Rivermen, 25. And then 2 more from the Ennismore James gang. Robin McGrain and Nick DeLauro. And number 10 is Zach Miller from the Merchants. So although Ennismore isn't cleaning it up in the standings, they have a number of players. It's something that they really haven't had over a number of years. But, you know, if they can get this all together, because they're playing some of the most interesting lacrosse I've seen in a while. They are never out of it. They are sometimes on top of the score, sometimes below the score, but they're playing very entertaining lacrosse. So if you have an opportunity to watch them, 6 o'clock next Sunday over in Brooklyn, you can go and check it out. If you have a chance to get out to Lakefield, A, it's gorgeous out there, and B, it's a really cool arena. And for their home games, you might want to head out there as well. But it's a little bit of a trek if you're a city folk like me. Anyways, that covers Senior B for this week. Why don't we head on over into WLA, and you can make me cry.
Well, maybe we can start off on last Sunday, or it was maybe a little better news for Gary. Where the Shamrocks came with 11-9 win over the Maple Ridge Broads in an early game for first place, and a really big win as it then puts the Shamrocks 2 games up on Maple Ridge for that first place. And this game was actually tied 3-3 through the first period, but then a huge second period where the Shamrocks came away with 5 goals to Maple Ridge's 1, including a couple goals from Zach Mans. Maple Ridge tried to make a comeback with scoring Victoria 5-3 in the third period, but a little too late. Ton of shots in this one too. 55 shots by Maple Ridge, 53 from Victoria. Leading the way for the Shamrocks, Marshall King, 4 goals, 2 assists, a hat trick and 2 assists for Zach Mans, 2 goals and assists from Jacob Hickey. Chris O'Reguilari, 46 saves off 55 shots in the win for Maple Ridge. Marcus Clarich, 4 goals, 2 assists. Tyler Pace, a goal and 5 assists. Riley Lohan, 2 goals, 2 assists. And in goal, Jack Kask for the Burrards. 42 saves off of 53 shots for the loss. Big, tough loss for Maple Ridge, but a big win for Victoria last Sunday. Then I guess we head on into would have been this Thursday, the Thunder and Salmon Bellies. And Salmon Bellies just come away with a big win, 14-8 over the Thunder. And you think frustration settling in for Langley. We saw a lot of penalty minutes in this one. 38 seconds left. Things got a little bit out of hand. At one point here, Frank Chiliano got leaving the crease major. Dalton Lupel got a leaving the bench major. Evan Messner got a leaving the bench major. Ben Sonnen also leaving the bench major. Roughing from Noah Armitage. Tamek Godfredson, an illegal cross check, a slash, and I believe he had a spearing major as well. That was just 38 seconds left in the second. And then just continued into the third period. Actually, Frank Chiliano got excessive majors assessed, as well as a fighting misconduct with a minute and 14 seconds left in the game. He also got instigating fighting as well. Alex Lemieux got leaving the player's bench for Langley also. Evan Patterson got excessive majors also for fighting and unsportsmanlike. This game just got out of hand for Langley. It's just you could tell frustration is setting in on this team. For New Westminster, points wise, Noah Armitage led the way. 4 goals, 5 assists for 9 points. Will McKay, 2 goals, 4 assists. 5 goals from Dylan McIntosh in this one. 4 assists from Owen Ron. For the Thunder, really the bright spot was Connor Robinson with a hat trick and 1 assist. Goal and 2 assists from Dante Koulis. I should mention 2 New West. Ashton LeClaire was in goal. Stopped 33 of 41 shots. While Thunder, obviously, Frank Chiliano played some of that game until he got thrown out with 50 saves with 56 shots, with Matt Hills coming in relief after that in the third after Chiliano's game misconduct.
Well, that's not very nice of Frankie, is it?
No.
My goodness.
Then we move on to Friday, and the one Gary might want to plug his ears for.
Tonight's score, so I got to smile back. So,
Hey, before you jump into that, I just scrolled through the penalty list for that game, and I think I came up with 227 minutes in penalties assessed. If I added that correctly in the minute and a half it took me to scroll through.
Players leaving the player bench and majors and
the 2001 Man Cup.
Yeah, and I don't know what got on Frankie's skin, but holy cow, he had enough.
Apparently.
But moving on to Friday night, and I think this was the shocker that everyone couldn't believe. the last place Burnaby Lakers with a 10-9 overtime win over the first place Victoria Shamrocks. I just,
Get
yeah,
these out of the way now. Don't do this in the playoffs. Get these out of the way now.
yeah. And, kudos to Burnaby. They had a 6-4 lead through 2 periods. Victoria did come back the 5-3 in the third to send the game into overtime. And actually, they had the lead, 2-goal lead, actually. Oh, excuse me, late in the third, but 2 goals by Joel McCormick for the Lakers, including, one with an extra attacker with 12 seconds left, tied the game. Then it was Ethan Emlott, 6 minutes and 19 seconds into overtime, that gave the Lakers the overtime win.
Wow.
And Emlott led the way, and his only goal was the game winner. But he had 6 points that night. He also had 5 assists. Joel McCormick, as I mentioned, he had those 2 late goals that were just huge for the Lakers. He had 4 goals and 2 assists. Finn Halliday, a goal and 3 assists. 2 goals from Ryan Favreau. In goal, Mark Ripperger, outstanding game, 49 of 58 shots for the Shamrocks. Zach Mans, 3 goals, 2 assists. Marshall King, 4 goals and assist. But then it just kind of drops off after that. Your next top goal scorers were Jacob Hickey with a goal and an assist, 2 assists from Luke Pilcher, and 2 assists from Brody Wade. And it appeared that Adam Bland got the start actually in goal. Stopped 12 of 18 shots for 6 goals before Chris O'Reilly came back in relief and stopped 21 of 25 to finish off the game. So, shocker. I don't think anyone had that one on their bingo card on Friday night.
I did not. It was a terrible shock to me Saturday morning. But the Lakers came back the next day.
Yeah.
And they win again.
And it gets better. Folks, there's a winning streak in Burnaby, and it's not a 1-game win streak. It's a 2-game win streak. They beat Nanaimo the next night, 9-7. Ryan Favreau, 3 goals and an assist. And then you had a goal and 3 assists each for Ethan Emlott, Jake Young, and Finn Halliday. Joel McCormick had a goal and an assist along with Andrew Cowan. Mark Ripperger, again, standing tall, 50 saves on the night. For Nanaimo, they did make a run near the end of the game. Speaking of penalty minutes. Late in the third, Burnaby actually led 6-2 after 2 periods. Late in the third, Nanaimo went on a 4-goal run with Andrew Bowman scoring 3 of those 4 goals. But after his first 2, Tyson Johnson managed to get himself assessed 40 minutes worth of penalties. for instigating and fighting and excessive majors, and it's a penalty filled weekend.
This is how you plan on beating Nation's Chiefs.
Stick with all lacrosse all the time. We may just post a screenshot of all the penalty minutes from these games.
Wow.
Yeah, so at that point, Nanaimo still holding on to an 8-5 lead, but Jeremy Wudrick scores, Bowman scores his hat-trick goal. They pull within 1, but Sam Trumbull scores with about 28 seconds left to give Burnaby an insurance goal. They win 9-7. For Nanaimo, Andrew Bowman, 3 goals and an assist. Noah Manning had a goal and 2 assists. Jeremy Wudrick, also a goal and 2 assists. Tyson Fontanilla, a goal and assist. Brent Mitchell had a goal, and Colby Bowman made 31 saves in net for the Timbermen. And that same evening, we had another overtime thriller. This time in Coquitlam, as Maple Ridge comes away with a 10-9 win in OT. Marcus Klarich leading the way for the Berards, 5 goals, 2 assists. Riley Lowen, 2 goals, 3 assists, including the game winner in overtime. Tyler Pace, 2 goals, 2 assists. So nice to see the guys that should be on their game every night on their game for the Berards. Garrett Winter, a goal and an assist. Reese Barnes, 15 of 22 on faceoffs for Maple Ridge. And Jack Cask in net making 44 saves. For the Adnax, who had a hat trick and an assist from Keen Moon, 2 goals and an assist from Adam Noakes. Then you had Jalen Chaster, David Charney, and Denon Armstrong, each with a goal and an assist. James Ray had a goal for Coquitlam. And Christian Del Bianco, 37 saves in the loss. And
we
that
have
brings us to, tonight.
tonight right now, and it looks like they're just finishing up the second period, and it's, oh boy, Victoria 12, Maple Ridge 4.
And basically another battle for first place, and the Berards are just
dropping the ball.
Yeah.
I believe the season series will be going to Victoria with this one.
Yeah, Victoria had a 7-goal run between the first and second periods already.
Yeah. So they can have these little flirty little things there that happen flukily. Comes push, shove. Hold the floor as your.
Well, let the Langleys and the Burnaby's of the league beat them.
We'll simply get the hotel ready for them over in Six Nations.
Yeah.
I gotta say, is anybody gonna beat Six Nations? Certainly didn't look at this week.
No. Yeah, because actually, looking back at this, Victoria's 8-2, and their losses came to the 2 last place teams, Burnaby and Langley.
Right. So as long as they don't play one of the last place teams, they'll be just fine in the Man Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this will actually be a sweep. Just to correct you, Victoria already won the first 2 matchups with Maple Ridge. So
I was being polite.
Well, I don't know. Does Maple Ridge deserve it? They dropped the ball 3 times now. What looks to be 3 times.
Luckily for them,
this loss of Adnax could move into second because Adnax are sitting at 5-4 right now, so a 4th loss could put the Adnax right into it.
Yeah. It's they have a game in hand, right?
Yeah.
But well, we'll see. Let's walk before we run. But let's say right now, let's just bask in the glory which is the Shamrocks this evening. Wonderful. God, bizarro land. But then again, we're going to get games that have 287 minutes of penalties.
Going in fights and
guys who don't want to sit on the bench anymore and decide they want to go in and join the fray. No, this isn't the 70s hard. But anyway, we head on over to Major Series Lacrosse, and we had an interesting week because we had a couple of days where we didn't have games, which is odd, but we sure made up for it later in the week. Monday night, we had Brampton and Oakville going at it, and this cost Brampton a little bit more than just a victory. They lost Mike Triolo in this game. He got hurt, taken out of this game. He did not play on Thursday, and he did not play tonight. So we're hoping that it's nothing major, that he's just getting some R&R, and then next week he'll be back at it. But that being said, it was a third period surge from Oakville that won them this game. Oakville has looked great this year. I believe they're 6-2 at the moment, and they're the team that has given Six Nations the most headache in head-to-head. But Brampton gave Oakville all they could handle in the first two periods on Monday, but a dominant third period propelled Oakville to a 9-5 victory. The game featured 6 ties or lead changes through the opening 40 minutes, with Brampton answering nearly every Oakville push. Eric Acton led the Excelsiors early with a pair of first period goals, while Coltrane Tyson and Mike Triolo added second period markers to keep Brampton within striking distance. Oakville's offense was paced by Alex Simmons, you'll hear his name a lot, who had a hat trick in this game and was a constant threat throughout. Josh Dawick contributed 3 points, and Luke Dawick had multiple assists as well. After entering the third period with a slim 6-5 advantage, the Rock tightened up defensively, took control of the game. Mitch Armstrong sparked the decisive frame with an absolute highlight reel goal going coast-to-coast transition before Simmons completed his hat trick, and Carson Moyer added his second of the night to put the game away. Landon Kells looked good in the Oakville net on this night, and this was the Rock's 5th win at that point. Moving on over to Thursday night, because Tuesday and Wednesday there were no games, schedule crazy. But Thursday we had a pair of games. We had Brooklyn into Peterborough, in which I was in attendance for it. And you also had Owen Sound and Brampton. First off, with Brooklyn and Peterborough, Brooklyn gave them a rough go, but honestly, Peterborough just cream rises to the top. And in this game, Peterborough just looked good. Just a well-balanced attack, and they're getting healthier. Earlier in the week, they made this trade, sending hello. Why will it do it? Joe, there it is. Right. Carter Page to Brooklyn. Now you're sending a Peterborough boy to Brooklyn for a third-round draft choice, and the reason being, well, one, he plays for the Merchants in Senior B, but the second thing is that there just isn't a spot for him. You know, now they have Hellier, they have McCulley back, they got Lanchbury, as well as Tate Katoni's playing out of his mind. There really isn't much, Braden Saris and a number of other players. Justin Sykes has looked really great in his role too. There isn't any spot for him, so off he went. But despite being outshot 56-44, the Peterborough Lakers made the most of their opportunities and rode an efficient offense performance to a convincing 12-6 victory over Brooklyn. After the teams traded early goals, the Lakers seized control with 3 unanswered goals late in the opening period, adding 4 more in the second to build an 8-3 lead. Justin Sykes led the attack with a hat trick, while Tate Katoni, Thomas Hogarth, who is back for his first game of the season, Brad McCulley, Ryan Lanchbury, and Rob Hellier all played key roles in this balanced Peterborough attack. Brooklyn continued to battle despite the deficit, generating plenty of pressure and owning a significant advantage in shots on goal, including a dominant 22-10 edge in the third period. Drew Hutchison was excellent in the Peterborough nets. Dyson Williams scored twice, while Dan Lintner added also a pair of goals, but Hutchison was repeatedly coming up big and stopping them. Peterborough finishes this game with the big finish. Moving on over into the Owen Sound and Brampton game. Close game to start with. 4-3 after 1 in favor of Owen Sound. However, a second period that was, uncharacteristic for Owen Sound. A 7-goal second period. And this game was, shall we say, over at that point. This was the most consistent game that Owen Sound played. Even though they weathered early storms from Brampton, the North Stars showcased their offensive depth with contributions throughout the lineup, while their transition game and power play consistently created scoring opportunities. Even though Coltrane Tyson wound up with 3 goals, it wasn't enough as Owen Sound gets their first win of the year, 14-7 over the Excelsiors. Now, again, Mike Triolo didn't play in this game, and if anything, that would have got them on the phone. And well, here you have the move from today, in which McConvey winds up with 7 points in tonight's game. What a great addition for Brampton. If Triolo can get back in that lineup and they have him, Coltrane, Tyson, as well as McConvey, their front is looking better and better all the time. We head into Saturday, and we had a pair of games Saturday. One, we had in the second half of the McMichael Lacrosse Day in Whitby, we had the Six Nation Chiefs heading in to face the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. And, well, there's a reason why they are 9-0 now. Six Nations just continued their dominant march throughout the league Saturday. And after a tightly contested opening period, the depth of the Chiefs and the transition game just is too much for a team like Brooklyn, who is a good team. But Brooklyn showed plenty of resilience throughout the contest. Lucas Littlejohn had a lot of character in that game. At one point, challenging and sticking up against Tyler Biles and Malcolm Thompson. Not bad for a rookie. But Shane Jackson had a hat trick in this game, all on the power play, all quick stick goals. He had a couple of assists as well. But also Ryan Smith, Dawson Thie, Graham Hossack, and David Peterkin all played roles in this game. And like I say, the victory kept them perfect on the year, whereas Brooklyn is now with actually a losing record of 5-6. So I don't know if anybody had that on the bingo card earlier in the year either when we started seeing all the signings. But it was a bit of a shortened bench for Brooklyn as well. But also we had Oakville going into Owen Sound. And Owen Sound, for a while there, looked like they were going to get the best of this. They were down 5-2 after one. Oakville had a great first period. However, in the second period, after Alex Simmons opened the period with a goal, Owen Sound rhymed off 5 straight goals to actually be up 7-6 after 2. Now, whatever was said in the Rock dressing room certainly rattled them a bit, because they wound up coming back and scoring 6 themselves in the third period to take a 12-9 victory over the Owen Sound North Stars. Again, Alex Simmons with a big day. Jackson Webster and Isaiah Moran Weeks also as the 3 stars in this game. But I'll tell you, this was a very entertaining game when I watched it. For a while there, it really did look like Owen Sound had found their mojo. And it didn't come to pass. But again, this team is just a bunch of hard luck. They really could have 3 or 4 wins in this year. A couple of 1-goal losses here and there. But they are a solid group. And like I say, with a couple of the Andrew Kidd in net had a spectacular day. He faced a lot of rubber. We head on over to this evening, and well, Brampton and Coburg, and this game was some entertaining. Coburg got out to a 4-0 lead. Alex Marinier had a pair of goals in the opening first half of the first period, but not to be outdone. In the next 10 minutes, Brampton comes back with 4 of their own to tie this game at the end of 1. We go back and forth in the second period. In fact, Brampton gets out to a 6-4 lead in the second. Coburg comes back and it's 6-6. Enter Thomas McConvey, basically having a part of every goal from this point on. Whether he scored it or assisted on it, he wound up with 4 goals and 3 assists on the game and was, say, the number 1 star in the game. The number 2 star in this game was Connor O'Toole, who faced 68 Coburg shots on the day, making 58 saves for the victory. Now, this game wasn't even determined until the last 10 seconds, really. It was 11-10 Brampton with a couple of minutes left, and literally the teams were going end to end, back and forth, up and down, all over the place until off a rebound off on the back boards that Josh Medeiros complete his hat trick with an empty net goal to make it 12-10. Brampton now moves to 2-8 on the year. Coburg drops to 4-4 on the year, which sets in the standings Oakville at number 2 behind Six Nations. Six Nations at 9-0. Oakville is at 6-2. Peterborough at 5-4. Brooklyn at 5-6. Coburg 4-4. Brampton at 2-8, and Owen Sound at 1-8. Upcoming this week, there are some pretty fine games ahead of us. Busy week. Tomorrow, Peterborough is into Oakville, 7:30 if you're near track. Be an absolutely fantastic game, I guarantee it. Tuesday, you have Coburg hosting a game, which you don't usually see. Owen Sound is into Coburg for a Tuesday 8 p.m. game at the Meat Locker over in the Coburg Community Center. At the ILA, Brampton is facing Six Nations, also on Tuesday. There is no Wednesday game this week, but we have a pair of Thursday games. We have Coburg headed into Peterborough. This one is another one to circle because it's going to be a really good game and another determining game for standings. Well, you have Oakville heading into Brampton for a repeat of what went on last week. On Saturday, you have the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club heading up to Owen Sound for a game with the North Stars. And on Sunday, a repeat of tonight with Brampton going into Coburg. Coburg has 3 games this week, guys. So this is going to be a big week for the standings. And that's the week that was. Some really, really crazy games, lots of excitement. You guys can have all your penalty minutes. We'll just stick with all the lead changes and stuff like that. 5-4 and 11-10. Games aren't determined until the last 30 seconds.
Don't want any goals losing their minds or what?
We had that. Excelsiors of the early 2000s. We've had the Peterborough and Six Nations brouhahas. We have all that. That's old man. We're going to try and do this lacrosse playing thing and see how that takes us. However, I did notice in Peterborough that we're not getting 4,000 there anymore. We're getting 2,500 and 3,000. And still great crowds, still energetic crowds, but not full. Come on, people. We can do better. We can do better. And a big thanks to John Grant Sr. I had some terrific seats for this game. And he just had a knee replacement, so he is on the mend. So, big shout out to John Sr. and wish him a speedy recovery. It was great to catch up with Shooter, Johnny Davis, still doing his thing. Slick Johnny is still doing his thing, and he's heading into the mid-80s now. And still sitting there, watching every move of every player. So, not bad. Not bad. Always love my trips into Peterborough. It was great to see Guido Catoni and the rest of the Catoni family. It was super. There was an auction, just like last year's one, which I got McCulley's jersey. This time around, a little bit of different Laker jersey. But, they matched every dollar that was made on that auction. So, fantastic stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah. You'll be happy to know I stayed out of this one, guys. I have a Canada Day Lakers one. But yeah, no, it was a fantastic day. It was great to see. Well, Nick Rose was on the bench on this one. Hutchinson played great. He really had a super game. Faced a lot of rubber. For Brooklyn, not so great in net. Orleman got pulled for Walsh. Walsh got pulled for Orleman, and it just kind of snowballed on them. So, but Peterborough, for a team that's been struggling this year, They really look like they had their act together in this game. And the thing that would kind of put a little bit of a shrill down some spines in the MSL is that with all these moves now that they have made, viable team again. When you take a look at who exactly is sitting in their roster, again, Rob Hellier sitting almost on top of the league in points. But, you're looking at Lanchbury. You're looking at, Jake Withers, who's healthy. Sturos, Brody Burkhoff, Robert Hope, Thomas Hogarth back, Mike Robinson, Justin Sykes, who's just absolutely relished his role. Braden Saris, Liam Volans has had some time with them as well. So I would suggest that they're a very formidable bunch. Let alone Holden Katoni is on the mend. Tate Katoni has just had a great season so far. So, yeah, look out. I wouldn't rest on any of the games against the Lakers. They're going to be great. But also, Oakville, for a team that really doesn't have any huge star power, they have great teamwork. And both Constantopoulos and Landon Kells have been solid in their nets for them, giving them quality starts all the way through. And again, Matt Sawyer has got this team looking pretty good. And again, now they have Alex Simmons in there. You take a look at Brooks English, who's having a really great year. Ty Steenhouse has been super this year. Isaiah Moran Weeks has added a whole new dimension to that team. Of course, Josh Dawick, who's now back from being off on the mend. Jonathan Gagliardi, Ty Argent, all solid pieces in there. Luke Dawick has looked great as a facilitator in there. Carson Moyer has been invaluable to him, as well as guys like Jake Darlison, Sam LaRue, Lucas Hukal. All have been big production for this team, as well as being stand-up on the other end. Mike McCannell for another one who has had a solid defensive season for them. Ben Whittick is another one who is solid in the back. But anyways, so it's going to be very, very interesting as we head down in the last 4 weeks of MSL season. Because remember, August 1st is the last game. And then we head into playoffs for major series. So it's going to be a big month, I think, with a lot of motion. But again, my question is, can anybody knock off the Chiefs? I'm looking for one game, let alone 4.
Yeah, I don't see it.
The depth of that team. Like, think about it. They basically played with their food on Saturday, playing Brooklyn. Dane Smith wasn't in the lineup. Josh Byrne wasn't in the lineup. There were a number of guys that weren't in the lineup. And they never missed a beat. Like, I don't think that they put together a full team per se that you would see in a playoff thing or a Man Cup yet this season.
I think that's just the thing, right? Like, looking just out in the West, you're like, Victoria is a very, very, very good team. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see, like you said, the depth. They just don't have the same kind of depth that
I would like to see a team like Victoria with play. I would love to see them against a MSL team of 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And I have a feeling a team put together like that, there would be more Man Cups being lifted in the West. But, it's all fine and good to watch the All-Star team, and it's exciting when the Harlem Globetrotters come to town. But after a while, it kind of wears on you. That when you already know what the finish is, it's hard to get yourself revved up for the beginning and middle. And how do we get there? So, something has to be done for the good of the game if we want to still keep it the way it is in this format. But anyways, that's enough of that for now. Once again, I want to thank everybody for following us day in, day out, week in, week out. and all your great comments and seeing everybody live and chatting with people. It's just been so great to get out to all the arenas and seeing people and listening. It has been wonderful. And again, it is our privilege and our duty to get you all the information as quickly and as accurately as we can. And we take great pride in doing that. What this brings us to basically is last words. Mike, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, PLL is off for a week, but you know, I'm pretty pumped by, you know, the big win by the Palms, and kind of leaving the door open for anyone. It seems like it's anyone's game at this point to get to that WLL title game.
Right. Shawn, last words to you.
Yeah, I guess first just a quick update out in BC here. Midway through the third period is now 13-4 for Victoria. Interesting stat here between the first and second periods, 42 shots by Victoria.
Right.
So yeah, it could be a long night for the Briards. And you know what? I'm going to go a little bit off the board for my game of the week this week. I'm going back to Senior B here in Saskatchewan. That Blizzard Standing Buffalo game is going to be outstanding for the semifinal. The fact that the Blizzards took 2 straight off of Standing Buffalo when that team was supposed to just walk all over the league is unbelievable. And this is the first year that the Blizzards are in this league. This is their first year, their inaugural season. To have a guy like Jarrett Smith on the team helps out a lot too. So can they beat Standing Buffalo a third time? Who knows? But
When it matters.
Never say never.
Well, I got a feeling that Shatler will have his guys revved. But anyways, I'm with you on this one. I'm sticking with Senior B for my game of the week as well. And that will be Saturday night at the ILA over some chicken wraps. Mike, I'll have one ready for you as well. In. Don't worry. I got it. It'll be sitting on the table beside me. But anyways, we got it the rematch of Brooklyn versus Six Nations. And this is going to be what the finals are this year, I think, barring something crazy happening. Just 2 teams that are just excelling at everything they're doing. And again, you have Cam Dunkerley in net for the Rivermen. You have Thomas Kazik in net for the Merchants. It's a good NLL showdown, isn't it? And the rest of the team on both sides is just incredible. So let's have a look at that. If you are anywhere near the Six Nations area, the Brantford area, the Caledonia area, you would be depriving yourself of an absolutely fantastic game if you don't make it over there and spend your $10 to get in there, because it is well worth your money to go and check out this, especially in a story place like the ILA. So anyways, just a reminder to everybody that we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on Thread, we're on YouTube, as well as on streampunkentertainment.com. So please give us a look, especially on the flagship on Facebook, because the news is always changing. And as we find out things with the NLL, and again, lots of rumors swirling, but until we get anything concrete, it really is just hearsay. So we will be digging as much as we can and getting in with our contacts as best we can to get answers for you as fast as we can. But anyways, that'll do us for this week. Again, thank you all for being with us. And until we meet next week, for Shawn Slaght over in Moose Jaw, from Muffler Mike over in Connecticut, I'm Gary Groob in Toronto. Wishing the best of weeks again. Remember, keep your sticks high, your spirits higher. Until we meet again next week, have a great week. Everybody be safe. Happy Canada Day. Happy 4th of July. Until we see each other next Sunday. Take care.